Morning folks. I'm going to have a little play on an intro that my friend Darren uses now and again. You know what day it is? Motorhome electrics. Camper van electrics anyway. Yeah, it's electrics day. Oh yeah. So just before I start to install my electrics, what I actually need to do is look at this tiny separate toilet, because this is going to be obviously the partition down that side to that side, which will dictate how much space that's going to take up, how much space I've got left for my electrics, and where the wall's going to be, and etc etc. So I don't know yet whether I'm having it facing this way or that way, but what I do need to know is understand the dimensions that I need to save for behind it for the diesel heater pipe. So that's just the hot air pipe out of the diesel heater, because the diesel heater is either going under the driver's seat there or under the sofa base there, and obviously the pipe's then going to go back through there, which is going to make this, when I build the toilet room, it's going to make it a, what you call it, a hot box room as well, drying room, and then the outlet's going to go and then into the garage as well, which is obviously somewhat close to the batteries, which is something else I need to consider as well. I don't want to heat the batteries up, I just want to make them so that they are ambient temperature and not cold. And then obviously get that into the rest of the garage as well, so that everything in the garage, including the bed, is going to breathe, stay warm, that kind of stuff. But these are all the stuff that's kind of like going through my mind all the time, is where's this going to fit? How big a space does that bit need? Because obviously the next phases that I go through are to order the cushions, or what do you call it, foam, and material to make the sofa up, and the same material is then going to be used for covering the driver's and passenger seat as well. So those are the bits now where I'm concerned about space, how much I'm going to left over, and it does look like I'm going to have a lot of space. Looks like I'm going to have pretty much all that space down there as a sofa, so that's going to be really comfy. People keep saying, why you keep saying you're building this van for 2 bikes and 2 this and 2 that, and you've got a double bed. Obviously the situation with Mandy and I may change in the future, and this may be our single van for the future. But even so, it may be that Mandy comes on short trips with me. I don't know. I'm building it as if it's mainly for me, but also with an idea in my mind that it's for the both of us too. So that's why I keep mentioning 2 bikes and a SUP and a kayak, and for 2 people and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that clears that one up. Anyway, I know why you're watching this video. It's the electrics in it. Let's crack on with it. This is a good day. What we have here is 3 2-kilowatt-hour batteries. These are the new power behind the Ecoflow Power Kit, and this is the hub. So this is the main power hub. So every cable comes in a bag which is clearly marked what it's for, and like I say, they all have these unique ends on them as well. So this one is a 6-meter 60 amp max cable that I'm going to supply to my starter battery for B2B DC to DC charging. Now on the back of each cable it also says what it is. So this one says alternator in. So say if you look at these 2 cables next to each other and you think, oh, that's the same cable because they've got red and black and the same end, but that one says DC out. And because of the unique way these cables and everything are built, that won't plug in there. However, if you get the alternator cable, the right one, there you go, plugs in nicely. So if everyone's thinking, oh, I don't know about the right way to do this and the right way to do that, then look at it this way. They've almost made it idiot proof in that you can only plug the right things in the right place. So this cable says alternator in or alt in, and that says alt in as well. So like I say, they're so well matched and they click in place really well that you are now easily able to connect everything up. So let's connect these. I need to put a plug on the end of that so I can charge it. That one I'm not going to charge via the alternator so far, so I'm actually going to remove that. I'll connect in the solar charge cable so we can see what that one looks like. And then obviously we're going to connect up each batteries once we've connected up the actual outlet panel. So while most of this might look complicated and you're like, oh John, you've got all these different boxes and more boxes and cables and things, it really is quite simple. Now on the side of the hub you've obviously got the outlets as well, and also the network connectivity for the display. So this is where we plug in our outlet DC and outlet AC, so 240 volts, and I'm going to say 12 volts even though it's 13.6 volts, and we're going to connect them up to the distribution panel so I can then hook up main sockets if I want to, or 12 volt so I can actually then power up the fans. So for this moment in time I'm not going to hook up the AC on the outlet. I'm only going to hook up the AC on the inlet so that I can charge the batteries. So it's just this cable I'm going to look at, and that's going to connect into those connections down there. And there's also a pack of screws and bolts in here as well. So those will allow you to connect the 12 volt input into there, or as they're calling it, DC, because as we can see from here, it's actually not 12 volt, it's 13.6. So we can connect those wires through there using those screws they've provided, and I've just popped out that little panel there so I can get the cables in through. So you can see here it's marked DC in, minus and positive, and each cable's marked as well, so you can't go wrong with that. And then these are the DC outlets. Like I say, these front 6 of the first 6 are remote controlled. So now just going to get the 2 fans that I've got ready to go and connect them into there. Bringing this one first, which is the front fan. So you've got this side positive, this side's negative. Just pull these back, they snap in place. Just pull it back, slot that in, that clips down. Pull this back, slot that in, clip that down, and you're done. And then the next one, which is the back fan. And same thing exactly. Push it in, click it down, pull that one up, push it in, click it down, and then done. And that is me now having 2 items fully connected. So there's a network cable I need to install there, which is the remote switches for these, back to the power hub, and then also the remote panel too. So again, everything's cabled up and marked up. So we've got 1, 2 of these. One connects to our little remote control panel, and the other one, the distribution board that we've just wired the 2 items into. So one end of the cable there, and the other one in the back of there, and then the other end of the cable connects in there, and then another fresh cable connects in there, and then this end connects there. So from the main hub we've got DC out and DC into the distribution. We've then got the 2 RJ45 cables, the networking cables, connected to the remote distribution panel and the remote control panel. What we need to do now is get all 3 batteries connected up to the main power hub.
And now we're getting ready to plug the batteries in. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that the cables said battery on both ends, and that both ends are the same as well. So no matter whether you're plugging into the actual battery or you're plugging the batteries into the hub, it's the same one. So you can't actually get the cable the wrong way around even. Right, so that's our solar. Again, I am not expecting any solar, and I'm plugging solar into the PV input 2. Battery 1. Battery 2. And battery 3. And I've not plugged it into the mains yet, so let's just see what happens now. All showing 30%. Up here I can show DC and AC on and off. So I can put DC on. That shows DC on. And the lights have come on straight away, and the max fans are on as well. And it shows me the output now, 15 watts. That's with the max fans on. So I'm just going through adding it on my phone now, just so that the kit's set up. Obviously it's going to need probably an update. I know that they've been tweaking with a few options of software and abilities. So yeah, I'm going to go through the internet setup and make sure it doesn't need any software updates. So with both max fans with the max shade lights on, and we can see then the output is around about 50 watts, and that's with one max fan on full. Obviously I've not got any AC connected at the moment, I've not got any charge, and there's no input from solar despite my solar panels being connected there. If I was to click on that, yeah, we're showing no alternator, no solar and no AC. So I'm going to plug the AC in now, and then let's just see what happens then. Right, so that's now with the AC switched on, so main supply like goes on mains hookup. So if it's anything like the Delta Max, that was 2 kilowatts. So let's just say you went to a campsite or pulled up to a friend's house and you wanted to charge, or I wanted to charge all my batteries, and it says 2.5 hours and I'm fully charged from 30%. So that's everything now fully charged. All 3 batteries sat at 100%. So all in all, to connect the 3 batteries, which 3 cables there, the mains charger, I connected up the solar panel too. The 2 data ports, one for the control panel and one that goes into the distribution panel, as well as connecting the DC cable to the distribution panel to the side there with the other 2 data cables, and then 2 max fans. The whole thing took me about 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes I was up and running. I'd done my software update, everything was working, I was connected on my phone. Yes, I'm recording on my phone, and it was all absolutely brilliant, working fine. Every bit of cable you see was provided, apart from the cables that go to my devices, so you don't need any cable. There's cabling left, which is the AC out, so that's going to be from this unit to that unit, and from there I will cable out to all my AC sockets. And then there's the cable there, which is my B2B cable, if you like, DC to DC charge cable, and that's going to go to the starter battery, and then it's going to come into here and then charge. Actually, it's going to come into that one there on the end, and then that's going to charge when we drive. And that's how simple it is. And the fact that, like I say, everything's included in the boxes. It took longer to unbox everything and to take all the cables out of the lovely bags and everything like that than it did just to plug things in and get it working. I really challenge anybody that says, oh, I'm scared of electrics, to actually plug this in without getting it right first time, and also for it to be like such a simple and quick installation. Anybody is welcome to come and check out this system once my van's finished, if you want to come and look at it and see how it's all connected and everything. I am now going to have to dismantle it to build storage around
that wheel arch. So I'm going to box the wheel arch off, build storage that's strong enough to mount the batteries over the top. There's then going to be a wall that sits here, which is part of the partition wall for the toilet. I'm going to have to double skin that wall because I want to hang the hub off the wall. And then the little touch screen is going to be somewhere in the front here, probably the other side of this wall of the toilet. And then the distribution block over the back there will maybe be up in the corner, depends how much room for the batteries and everything I've got. Or it may also be lower down on this wall or higher up on this wall, however I figure it out. But yeah, I just wanted to show you it all working, how simple it all is, how fantastic it is. But the next time you're going to see it, it is going to be me kind of installing things there and then putting it on for size. So there we go, folks. One Ecoflow Power Kit with 3 2 kilowatt-hour batteries, so they're fully populated. 3 batteries is all you can have. There are 5 kilowatt-hour batteries or 2 kilowatt-hour batteries, and for now I think that's enough for me. So just to go over this again, obviously you've got 3 batteries that power this unit. So without having it plugged in on shore power or hookup, you've got the ability to charge from 60 amps from a DC charger for like the alternator. Actually, if you want to hook up the second connection again, you have an option of charging at 90 amps to get those 2 connections together. Or you can have a 60 amp DC to DC charger and then 2 30 amp connections via solar. So that should be 2 separate solar systems if you want to do it that way as well. Obviously then you've got your 3 battery connections and your AC in. Now, like I say, if you were having it so that there was no AC in, this system will power 3,600 watts of devices you plug in, like air fryer, you know, water heater, air heater, anything you can think of like that, an electric oven, you know, straighteners, hair dryers. It'll charge laptops, all those appliances, electric kettle, toaster, slow cooker. All that is easily going to be powered by this, several items at a time, in fact. And then when you do come to hook up or shore power, it can charge back at that rate as well. So you can get a 3 kilowatt-hour charge going into your batteries. If you plug in, obviously you would then need a 30 amp connection, so don't plug it in on a 13 amp fuse at that stage. Although the software inside does allow you to ramp that down or ramp it up, so you can increase or decrease the charge rate on your AC charger. And obviously once it's set up and you've got it connected to Wi-Fi on your phone, you can control all this and manage all this remotely as well. So you could be in the pub and you think, oh, I want to go back to the van now, but it's at night time, it's getting cold or whatever. You can switch on all the remote circuits. So you can switch on the heater, or you can switch on lights and switch on the remote circuits, the remote power for that. So when you get back to the van, yeah, it's all up and running. And right now, I might look a bit more kind of dressed up than normal, because gone to a little party at Willowfields. It's their bonfire night party. So I'm going to leave the van all locked up, tucked away in the unit with the alarms on and CCTV, everything else. And I'm going to have a few beers, maybe a burger or 2. So I shall be back at it on Monday. And we're going to start actually making furniture, which I've got a bit of advice from a couple of people about how to make things, and double skin walls and cavity walls and all that kind of stuff. Scribing. It's going to be fun, folks. There's going to be swearing. Well, until the next time, take care. Bye for now.